but in general, this week, let me put it that way, this week.
I know, your siblings told me. They're
Oh,
like, oh, you fell into a Chuck wormhole.
I did fall into a Chuck wormhole. It's Christina's fault. She invited me into the wormhole. Well,
Yeah,
it was like, she was like, I love Chuck, you should watch it. And then I was like, well, I'm leaving you guys again, so I'll watch it because I love you.
I never got into the Chuck.
I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons, but I had trouble with seasons 4 and 5. They just didn't capture me quite as much.
And you think that this would be a show that I would totally be into.
Wait, Elizabeth, have you not seen Chuck before?
No, this is the first time.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I thought you'd seen it before, and so I was judging you a little bit because you were like going this hardcore on a show you'd seen.
No. I saw the first season like the year after it came out or something like that. And I didn't remember. Like when I was watching it, I would be like, oh, I remember this part and I remember this part, but I didn't really remember that much about it. And then as I was watching season 2, I knew there was a couple scenes that were familiar, so I think I'd seen like part of an episode from there, but I don't know, well, where I am now, I'm almost to the end of season 2. That is all I know. I don't know what happens. I do know that something happens at the end because your pastor showed a clip from the season finale in a service once. So everybody who had not yet finished the show was unhappy.
I know, I was at that service.
Yeah, it was fairly recently.
Yeah, I know, I remember that. That was one of the first things I was there, and I was super entertained.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a good service. Well, I don't remember. Mostly, I remember Chuck and Sarah in a house fighting. I think. Yeah, I'll get there eventually. I don't think the wormhole is gonna last until the end of the show, though. That's a long-lasting wormhole.
Yeah.
No problem.
We've been going. No.
Bless you. Yeah, I noticed when it went live. Well, I didn't notice when it went live, but I noticed it was yellow at some point here. So.
I chose to ignore that fact.
I figured the talk about Chuck was good.
None of us were there.
That's why I started, because you were talking about Chuck, which stars Zachary Levi, who's a giant nerd and has a big presence at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, I was reading up on Comic-Con. Go ahead.
No, he was at the Maze Runner panel, apparently campaigning so that he could play Brenda in the second movie.
I have no idea what that means.
Weird. There's a character named Brenda in Maze Runner, and she's a very pretty 16-year-old girl. And
Zachary Levi has the chops
to get to play her. So yeah, that's it.
The only thing I know about the Maze Runner is Styles is in it.
Yeah, although I read Debbie's review on it, so I know something about it. I can't tell if you're frozen or if
no, like you're frozen or she's just stunned.
What?
Shock faces.
You were frozen there for a second. We weren't sure if it was you were frozen or you were just stunned.
Am I unstuck now?
Yes. But since you're here, Debbie, let's talk about the big news, the big reveal, because I figured you have the best opinion about it.
No, so
what do you think?
The Wonder Woman costume!
What?
I do have opinions. I always have opinions.
That's what I'm asking.
Wonder Woman. We saw Wonder Woman's live-action costume.
Oh, yeah.
Google it. Yes, I actually really liked it. I really liked it. I mean, it's funny. I have a picture of the Adrian Palicki costume, one of the incarnations, not the final one, but one of the incarnations of the Adrian Palicki Wonder Woman costume from the horrific TV show that never happened, thank goodness. And I was looking at that picture and then looking at this new costume and then looking at the picture and looking at the new costume and being like, oh, thank goodness. The costume that they have, it's armor. Like, it actually really looks like armor, and it looks like functional armor. Like, it looks much more Xena.
Well, yeah, they basically just raided Lucy Lawrence's closet.
It does look like Xena.
Which is totally something I'm okay with, for the record.
I like it.
The one caveat, one problem I have with her costume is that she does have heels. They're wedge heels, so they're slightly better, but she does still have heels, and that does bother me. Because, as I have mentioned many, many, many times, no.
Heels are impractical.
I appreciate the fact that heels, they're not super noticeable, and the rest of her costume is freaking awesome. So
maybe she can use the heels as a weapon.
Did you say that you don't like it, Elizabeth?
What? No, I do like it.
They're wedge heels.
Yeah.
Use wedges as a weapon.
You can't really use wedges as a weapon. Catwoman's heels.
But
Dark Knight could be used as a weapon.
No, yeah, but like they would kill her.
Yeah,
like
if she fall walking in them, which is a likely scenario. Double-edged sword. Double-edged sword on your feet.
Literally.
Could kill you. Literally. Could kill the bad guys.
But yeah, no, I really liked it. So that can get out of the way. I appreciate it, and I am looking forward to what they do with their character in that movie. I'm not super loving where DC's at right now, just tonally and in terms of skill level, but I like the actors that they've chosen. So far, I like everything I've seen for this new movie. I am tentatively in the this might not suck category.
Apparently, they showed some footage. It was quite impressive.
Okay.
People were wow.
I love how every year we talk about Comic-Con and none of us go, and so it's talking about rumors we heard on the internet.
I don't want to buy tickets now for next year's.
Well, and specifically, I don't want to go to Comic-Con.
Comic-Con is the one convention I don't feel the need to go because there's such media coverage of it.
I was actually more
Kamikaze in LA, and that was fun.
I hate crowds that big. That sounds horrible, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of too big for me.
Yeah.
It would be overwhelming.
But I am sticking with
Comic-Con when I'm a professional and have something to pimp there. Have something to like promote.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I have nothing to promote.
I mean, as a professional in my field, I'm not likely to ever have anything to promote at Comic-Con. I may in a couple years end up having to go there to like interview people, which would probably be okay. But right now I'm very happy sticking to the smaller cons, like say Geek Girl Con, which is awesome and coming up.
As you look at me pointedly with your eyebrows.
Pointedly, you're both in my computer.
I just assumed, I just sort of like...
How do you know she's not looking at me pointedly?
No, that was pointed. No, I'm looking at you too, Patrick. I'm also looking at you pointedly. You should come to Geek Girl Con. It's very fun. I actually... So the bigger point that I wanted to make is that... No.
That's why...
So
that's
leave your house.
Yeah, that's the thing about me not going to conventions is like I have to go to them.
Oh no! So tragic.
Wait, you
anyway.
don't want...
Anyway, my favorite part of the convention so far is actually not a thing that really well, it's a thing that happened, but it wasn't like... Basically, the Marvel panel was in Hall H, which is the big hall, and you like get there and you stay in your seat all day, and you have to sit through all the panels to get to the one that you want, because that's how it works at Comic-Con, because it's a weird system. But the panel right before the Marvel panel, someone pointed this out online, and I love them for pointing this out, was Entertainment Weekly's Women Who Kick Ass panel. Which means that all of the fanboys who've been complaining about the overrepresentation of women in the Marvel universe, like all the guys getting their butts hurt about Thor being a lady now, and ones being like, no, there was too much Black Widow in Winter Soldier, and like all the guys who basically complain about representation of women had to sit through an hour-long panel of women complaining about sexism in the industry in order to get to their Marvel spoilers. And it was all people like Tatiana Maslany and Maisie Williams and Sarah Paulson and Katie Sagal and like amazing women talking about sexism in the industry. And that fact, like the fact that that happened, is my favorite part of Comic-Con this year.
That's pretty good to me.
Just whoever made that scheduling choice, I love you. Have my babies.
That was pretty cool. I'm surprised that panel was in Hall H.
I am not surprised, considering who was in it.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve a big audience, but Hall H is usually they reserve for the big, huge, like the discussion panels they usually have.
Yeah.
Other things.
I know, but no. Well, I mean, like Women Who Kick Ass. I mean, I could pull up a list, but it was like Natalie Dormer, Tatiana Maslany, Katie Sagal. Like, these are women who people will stand in line for that long for. So.
Or it could just be like, you said someone really wanted to schedule something right before the Marvel panel, so I'll
I feel like it was a little bit of both, because like I have read up on that panel, and it's been going for a couple years now, and it is one of the highest attended panels. That's not for some like straight up content thing. Like it's one of, I think it is the highest discussion, like the highest popularity of discussion panel. So there's that, but I definitely think someone was being intentional, and I love them. So there's that.
That is cool. And the Marvel panel was pretty cool too.
And the Marvel panel was pretty cool. There were some little hiccups. The Marvel fandom, at least the feminist side of the Marvel fandom, is currently having a hissy fit over the fact that Jan Van Dyne is not going to be included in Ant-Man. They made that announcement. I am vaguely disappointed about this, but I'm more annoyed at the people who are like, Marvel's terrible, and because they're not including Jan in Ant-Man, I am going to boycott Agent Carter.
No!
How does that work?
People are actually saying that?
Yes, people are saying that, and they're stupid, and we hate them.
That is totally illogical. I'm saying that I don't want to buy chocolate that is harvested illegally, so let me boycott fair trade chocolate. That's
exactly
what they're saying.
I don't want to eat chocolate that's harvested illegally, so I'm boycotting corn.
Well, no, like I'm not happy with the lack of feminist representation in this movie, so I'm going to boycott this other feminist project.
Yeah.
Possibly the single greatest feminist project to come along in Marvel so far that everyone is super incredibly excited about.
Because it's going to be awesome, yes.
Yes, it's going to be so awesome.
Though, however, speaking of happy things related to Agent Carter, let's point out that the first 4 episodes so far are going to be directed by movie directors from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So the first 2 episodes, I think, are being directed by... Or no, the first episode is being directed by the guy who did... I forget. Anyway, basically,
I think it's the guy who did the guys, because it's a pair of
It's
brothers. The guys who did Winter Soldier.
Despacito. Marvel Studios co-president is set to direct the first one. Joe and Anthony Russo from Winter Soldier
Yes.
are doing the second and third episodes, and then Captain America, the First Avenger director Joe Johnson will do the fourth episode.
that's what it was.
Okay.
I knew we
That's
had
good.
both, like, 3 of the episodes were directed by Captain America directors, and 1 was somebody else, but basically it's happy and wonderful. And so
I'm so
far, everything I'm hearing about Agent Carter is making me want to poop rainbows. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm very, very good.
And for all the people complaining that Janet Van Dyne's not going to be an Ant-Man, you don't know that. They just haven't cast her yet.
No, I think they actually said that.
Well, no, Hope Van Dyne is going to be in the movie.
Oh.
Ant-Man's daughter, but with Janet Van Dyne. So we might see an elderly Janet Van Dyne in the movie.
Right, and just generally speaking, I mean, there's no saying she won't show up in a different movie. Marvel.
Or, given the age, maybe Janet Van Dyne will show up in Agent Carter.
Oh my gosh, that would be wonderful. I want it.
Yes.
So yeah. So let's see. There's that stuff coming out of Marvel. I'm trying to think. If there's any other Marvel news that was particularly noteworthy? I mean,
well,
Thor's
they introduced the whole Avengers 2 cast was up there.
Right. We already knew who they were.
And Josh Brolin made a nice little cameo at it.
That's nice.
I gotta get
Wearing an Infinity Gauntlet. Which was fun.
Very cool.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has been announced.
Wow, they're just...
They haven't.
Not
Well, apparently one has no one. There's not a single person who said a bad thing about the first movie yet. Everyone has loved it.
I'm pretty much ready to cry tears of joy. I'm actually really excited. I get to go see it at the midnight showing. I haven't gotten to go to the midnight showing in literal years, so I am super excited.
Wait, what are you going to see at midnight? I missed that part.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, what?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which we will talk about next
Very
week.
exciting.
So guess what? You better see it.
I will do my best.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Can I digress momentarily from Comic-Con to just mention that I saw a different movie yesterday that I had really, really, really high hopes for, and it did not live up to my expectations on a singularly impressive level.
Lucy?
Please.
I saw Lucy.
I
I saw Lucy, which looks it's supposed to be an amazing cerebral thriller with like superpowers and Scarlett Johansson and amazingness. And holy crap, that movie is insane and also terrible.
Well, you were
Scarlett
actually
Johansson.
down on Lucy. You kind of didn't like Lucy when we were first talking about it.
Right. No. But I was like, hey, maybe I'll go see it. No, the reasons that I thought I wasn't going to like it, not the reasons I ended up not liking it. Not even a little bit. Basically, so, in your estimation, what do you think Lucy is about?
You mean based on
Based
the
on-
trailer?
Based on the trailer.
Pick
I
with
would,
superpowers.
a girl
What?
who gets superpowers and then is running around doing something, but it looks kind of cool. I guess she's trying to find the people who put the drugs into her in the first place.
So it looked kind of like a revenge flick, right?
Right.
Like your classic, like, girl been done wrong, gets power, revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, not actually what the movie's like. No, like, okay, this is one of the problems, is that you can't really talk about the movie because it's so weird. But basically, Lucy was that movie that you described, but it was intercut with a really poorly researched documentary on the power of the human brain.
Ah.
So, scene of Lucy getting superpowers and fighting someone cuts to Morgan Freeman talking about mental capacity and the image of two frogs having sex. Cuts back to Johansson punching people. Cut to Morgan Freeman talking about the division of the atom and the untold power of the nuclei. Cut to Scarlett Johansson punching people, or not punching, but doing things with her brain. Cut to Morgan Freeman talking about how we only control 10% of our brains. What if we controlled 100%? Which is actually, like, just not true, because we do control 100%. Because how the crap do you think brains work? Why would we only control 10% of our brains?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And that fact was disproven 50 years ago. So basically, the science is wrong, but also the movie is so bad. So bad. It looks like you're watching a French film student's first attempt at a movie.
That sounds horrible.
Yes. On the plus side,
it's
very entertaining.
So you're half right.
What?
Actually. It is a French filmmaker, just not a first-time French filmmaker.
Well, but that was the thing, is I was like, Luc Besson, I've loved things you've done. And nothing you've done has ever been this psychotically weird that I know of. Like, I really can't stress this enough. I'm going to spoil the ending of the movie because I want to see your faces when I do. The ending of the movie is that Scarlett Johansson reaches 100% use of her brain and turns into a flash drive made of the stars.
What?
Yeah. The ending of the movie is Scarlett Johansson turns into a flash drive made of the stars.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I know. No
like
one
a
does.
literal flash drive? I think.
Like a literal flash drive. Literally made of stars.
That's wow. I was hoping you were going to tell me that, like, the whole movie, it was just, she never, none of that stuff actually happened to her. She never got superpowers, and that she was just ODing on all the drugs in her.
No. That would make way too much sense. No, the literal ending of the movie is that as Scarlett Johansson reaches 100% brain capacity, she turns into a black goo that oozes onto the floor and then builds a giant computer containing all of the knowledge of everything that she's gained because she's using 100% of her brain, and clearly that means she's omniscient. And then it turns into the computer, and then the computer, like, she disappears, and all that's left is the computer, and the computer reaches out to Morgan Freeman, and it has a flash drive, and Morgan Freeman takes the flash drive, and then the computer combusts into dust and nothingness. But then the flash drive is there, and he looks at it, and he turns it, and it's made of stars. And then her love interest walks in and goes, "Where's Lucy?" And then he receives a text message that says, "I am everywhere."
Okay.
That's how the movie ends!
I think I don't like anything about that.
I think I'm going to get really drunk and watch that on Netflix.
You're just sitting there in the theater watching it being like, what?
Yeah.
I really had to get that off my chest because I just... What? It's not even that I don't understand this because it challenged my perceptions of things and, like, I need some time to deal with it. Like, Snowpiercer, I needed to see it twice because I didn't understand how I felt about it. Because it's a complex, good movie. This was not that. This was not like that. This was like I walked out of it and went, I have no idea what the hell just happened, and I don't like it.
You felt like your brains
Yeah,
had
it
turned
felt
into
like you were
black
watching.
goo and you had burst into a flash drive.
I went to lunch after that, and literally the whole lunch I'm sitting there quietly because I can't even think of anything to say to respond to that movie. Because there were parts of it, literally, you would go back and forth between scenes of Scarlett Johansson in Taiwan and then Morgan Freeman giving a lecture on the human brain and like long lingering shots of his PowerPoints.
Of his PowerPoints?
Yeah, no, he had PowerPoints.
Okay.
And it was just like offensive because the science was wrong. I mean, it was a bad movie. Like, it's one of those things where not only was it a bad movie, it was also wrong. Added insult to injury. So, I guess what I'm saying is don't go see Lucy, or do. Because I think it might be in the contest for worst movie made with the best cast and crew. I honestly think it might actually be in competition for that. Worst movie made with good intentions. Because it's horrific. Yeah. So that happened.
Well,
No.
Go
to
back.
Comic-Con.
I just really needed to talk about that.
Understandable. Makes you feel any better, Scarlett Johansson was not at Comic-Con.
I have nothing against Scarlett Johansson. It was one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, you are acting so hard right now. Like, you're actually doing a really good job. Scarlett Johansson is really good in this movie.
It's just the movie.
Saved the movie. That's what I mean, is like, everyone in this movie is actually doing their best. That's what's so sad. Scarlett Johansson's amazing. Morgan Freeman, actually really good. The French guy whose name I didn't know, he's awesome. Even the directing, like, it was pretty decent. Like, the shots were really interesting. It was just so effing weird and terrible. You're watching all these people do their best and fail. Hardcore. So, yeah. Um,
So there won't be a Lucy 2.
no, there will not. Unless Lucy 2 is what happens when we plug in the flash drive.
Which is interesting because this weekend, it actually, box office wise, it did pretty well. It beat Hercules.
No, I know.
Only because
That's
it had
because
Scarlett
every...
and they all went to see it without knowing what they were getting into.
Exactly. Everyone I know is super excited for this.
Why wouldn't you go see a
The
movie
trailer was lies.
Freeman and superheroes?
What? Yeah, it looked like
What?
an independent superhero franchise.
I couldn't really hear
It
you.
looked like an independent superhero franchise.
Right, exactly.
Whatever.
C'est la vie.
So, moving on. What else did we learn from Comic-Con? Did we learn anything else from Comic-Con?
Well, I looked at a bunch of stuff. I just don't know if I want to comment on any of it.
DC is really rolling out the TV shows.
Yeah.
They had 4 TV shows represented at Comic-Con.
Arrow, Flash, Gotham,
Constantine.
Constantine. Oh, we could talk about that. They
Well,
made Constantine straight.
It looks pretty cool. Like, well, yeah. Well, Constantine. It's gonna be on NBC, so they've already taken out like tons of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
Not gonna smoke.
like, if you're gonna pick the one canonically bisexual guy in all of DC, I'm pretty sure he is like one of the only ones too. You're gonna take the one canonically bisexual person in DC, and you're gonna decide to make a show about him, but you're not going to include that.
Yeah.
Well, I did read that the Black Canary was supposed to be canonically bisexual, and then it got changed on accident during printing, and they put that in Arrow, so they did one thing right. Maybe.
Which is it. Like, you can have a bisexual Black Canary, but you can't have a bisexual Constantine.
I disapprove. I actually know nothing about Constantine, but I
just am bugged that they won't let him smoke, because that's like a part of the character's thing. It's like he's dying of lung cancer. That's his thing. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I really like the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, and I own it on DVD.
I do too. I don't buy it. Doesn't
I really like it. Yeah, because I've met people who are like, "You're terrible for liking that movie," but I do. But it's good.
I mean, it's not as good as the comic, but nothing is ever as good as the book.
So yeah, I'm tentatively excited for that show anyways. I'm super stinking excited for Sleepy Hollow to come back. Hell yes.
Oh yeah, the star from that was in that Women Who Kick Ass thing.
Right, Nicole Bahari.
That's her name. Because I was like looking at her. I was looking at the picture of all of them. And I'm like, I recognized her, but I didn't instantly recognize what she was from because she had her hair different or something.
Well, she wasn't wearing a uniform. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I'm excited for that show to come back. I'm ready.
It should be cool. And Gotham looks good. Looks cool.
Gotham does look good. I was actually kind of surprised. Gotham actually looks like a good show, and the cast is pretty awesome. Oh, well, I don't know. Elizabeth, what spoilers have you heard about for Arrow?
I have not seen anything yet for Arrow based on Comic-Con. I didn't look for it.
Ooh, can I tell her?
Yeah, Patrick, you can tell her.
Tell me.
Ra's al Ghul.
That is not what I was going to say.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, then you tell her, because I don't know what you were talking about.
Mine's more interesting. So Stephen Amell was asked what's going on for Oliver this season.
Uh-huh.
And, he explained that this season Oliver is really all about the one woman in his life that he loves. And the fans was like, "Oh, Thea," and he went, "No, Felicity."
Yes, Felicity. The fans really thought that it was going to be... I mean, Thea's going to be important. Better be, but yes, all about Felicity. This is a good thing.
Apparently, Oliver is going to... I think I heard that Oliver is going to be telling Barry that he's in love with Felicity in the Flash pilot.
He'll be telling who?
Barry Allen, the Flash.
Oh.
Oliver's going to be in the Flash pilot. And
Cool.
I'm pretty sure that I read that I'm pretty sure I put together of what I read that he's telling Barry that he's in love with Felicity.
Well. Oh, hey, small dog. Sorry, I just got distracted momentarily. Back to Felicity. I also heard that, I heard that they were going to be doing things with their relationship in this season, which they have to, where they left it last season. But I'm excited because I love Felicity so much.
Well, the teaser straight up has...
So yes, this season will actually canonically address Olive.
Yeah, the teaser straight up has Ollie asking Felicity out to dinner.
Yay!
Coupley.
I just hope they handle it well. I have a very tenuous trust in these writers, so...
I think it'll be weird, though, because there is
It's probably Endgame. That doesn't mean it's going to be happy getting there.
They have kind of established like a big brother, little sister relationship with them, though.
They did at the start, and then it kind of...
I'm pretty sure little sisters don't spend that much time staring at their big brother's abs.
It was never on Felicity's part. Felicity's always been into him.
Yeah.
For him, he wasn't into her for a long time. But then, like, in season 2, they kind of slowly
But then
transitioned.
Harry showed up, and he realized that she might have romantic feelings for someone, and he went, but me.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That whole episode was him just realizing that, like, he didn't want her to make anybody else.
Exactly. That whole
And
episode
then,
is going, but me.
yeah, it was. And
Okay.
then, like, yeah. And then I was kind of glad that Sarah White fanged him.
She totally did, though.
Totally did.
So I do like the promo pictures we saw of Roy in his full Red Arrow costume.
Arsenal.
Whatever.
Good, like Red Arrow.
That's always my favorite moniker for Roy Harper. I've never liked when they called him Red Arrow, because that's just like, oh, you're Green Arrow, I'll be Red Arrow. Arsenal sounds like, with his own, like, thing.
Dude, did you see the thing with, it was a snippet from one of the Harley Quinn comics of her talking to Oliver Queen and being like, welcome to the Arrow Cave. And she's like, why isn't this called the Quiver? I mean, arrows don't really live in caves. So the Bat Cave makes sense, but arrows live in a quiver. And then it's Oliver, like, glaring at her, and then being like, damn, that does make more sense.
I did hear apparently in an issue of the recent Harley Quinn comic, apparently Harley Quinn gets it on with a bunch of dudes.
And?
At Comic-Con dressed as the Joker.
Oh.
Someone mentioned that, and I have not picked up this comic. I have not seen it for myself.
Okay, so it was really funny. The other day, this guy was trying to hit on me by telling me that he also really likes comics and he really loves DC. And it didn't work. But because DC. But it was really interesting because he was like, well, yeah, because DC has better female characters. No?
Should ask him to name 5.
I know. Like, I'm sorry, no? But DC has better female comics. No.
Name 1.
Like, name one DC comic at all that's better than Ms. Marvel.
Catwoman.
No.
Supergirl.
I guess I'll just establish this now. World of Men. Don't hit on me by telling me that you like DC better than Marvel. You won't win. Also, I'll destroy you.
To all the guys out there, if you are going to hit on a girl or a woman, referencing comics, go for the deep cuts. Saga, Fables, Sandman. Do something obscure.
Well, I mean, like, if you are going to reference comics, maybe stick for one. If you're going to reference female lead comics, stick for a female lead comic where the heroine is covered up. Because what that says is, I'm really into comics about ladies, and not just for the tits. So reference like Ms. Marvel, or Lumberjanes, or Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers is sexy, but she wears a costume that actually covers everything because, of course she would. Or She-Hulk, or Black Widow, or lots of people, actually. Just don't go for the ones where it's like, well, I like her because she's so independent, and you can tell that from her boob window. No, we can see through that with very little effort. We can see through that like, say, you can see through a boob window. Just
You know, someone once tried to explain why she has that, and it's like, oh, well, because she didn't fit in, and she was kept trying to find an empty thing to fill the empties. I'm like, no, it's because the artist wanted to draw her with giant cleavage sticking out.
Which I really like.
There's
Someone
not
took
some
the time and
deep
effort.
psychological meaning.
Someone took the time and effort to look into the physics of what would happen to that costume while she was flying, because it has the boob window. Like, because all the air would rush in, but then it couldn't rush out at the bottom, so it would end up, like, weirdly ballooned, and basically she'd be wearing a giant parachute. Physics!
Oh,
Anyway.
Elizabeth left us because her computer's not working.
Oh, no. I mean, I knew she left us, but bad.
But she wanted to explain.
Do you know any other stuff from Comic-Con that happened that was interesting?
Let's see. There was the Marvel thing, the DC movies.
Like Marvel? Yes, yes.
Hmm?
Was there anything that we were like, oh, I want it?
Well, there's always stuff that I want. It's like every time I look at it, it's like, oh, Elizabeth is back. I'm trying to think. There's what else was there? Well, there was a lot of Hobbit news.
Right. It's gonna happen.
It seemed everywhere you turned, there was a different version of Smog. There was either a giant Smog, there was a Lego Smog, there were little mini Smogs. Everywhere at Comic-Con, there was some version of Smog.
I think I'm tentatively excited for the last Hobbit movie, but I'm kind of over it, which I feel like 14-year-old me is freaking out right now. Like, how can you be over it?
Well, here's some news for 14-year-old you. Benedict Cumberbatch got his picture taken with all those different versions of Smog.
14-year-old me doesn't know who Benedict Cumberbatch is.
Yeah.
14-year-old me is more excited for the Smogs, actually. And adult me is really sad that they cast a white guy as Doctor Strange.
I'm not shocked they cast the white guy as Doctor. Well, they haven't cast it.
I thought they had.
No, the rumor is it's Joaquin Phoenix, but that's just like what the rumor is.
Do not want.
They didn't confirm it they didn't announce it at the Marvel panel or confirm it anywhere.
I want Oded Fayir or Pedro Pascal. I want it.
Pedro Pascal was
The Red Viper.
Red. I was pretty sure that was that. Ooh, that would be good casting.
I know, right?
He would. The only other person I want to be is another person from Game of Thrones, Littlefinger.
No.
You don't think he'd be a good?
No.
He's got the look perfect.
He's not distinguished.
Hmm.
You don't look at him and think.
But Pedro Pascal, that would be awesome casting.
Because I hate to say it, Patrick, but I feel like when you look at Stephen Strange, what you need to think is, you look very intelligent and distinguished, and also like you could get it. Like now.
Hmm.
Basically, I want Doctor Strange to be someone who I think looks intelligent and respectable, and also so hot I want to climb him like a tree.
Okay.
Oded Fayir, Pedro Pascal. Make it happen. Not Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh. No. Joaquin Phoenix just does not strike me as imposing.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you want someone who has, like, gravitas. Like, I would actually say before, and that's the other reason why I'm not super big on Littlefinger, I would say Dominic West more than him. Speaking of people who are on The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic West, like, he has this aura of power. Littlefinger doesn't. I think that he would be. Sorry, I cannot remember this actor's name to save my life, for the record. But I keep
That,
calling him Little.
that's why I couldn't remember it either.
No, that guy, I feel like, would actually have made a pretty decent Bruce Banner. Because the thing about Bruce Banner is that he's so unassuming.
Yeah.
He's a small package. Like, you're surprised when he explodes.
Well, I would have said that before the Avengers, but
whereas Stephen Strange,
yeah, you need someone who
majestic.
Stephen Strange is a demon and win.
You need someone who you believe who does magic, and that magic is also a thing that happens. So, I will say I was really excited. This is a different topic, but I was really excited to see that Teen Wolf was actually like playing with the big boys this year, instead of being, shunted off to the room of like CW dramas and like stuff. It was like, no, we recognize that people actually watch your show. Like, thank you. And part of the reason why I like that is because Teen Wolf is having a really awesome season so far. The quality is way up. And the other reason is because
it's awesome.
As their profile increases, so too does the probability that Holland Roden will play Mary Jane.
It's crossed.
Plugging for that so hard. It's so perfect.
Yes. Anyone who knows anybody who works for Sony, just kind of slip that name around. Hey, have you seen this Holland Roden gal? She's an awesome actress. Oh, and she's a redhead. What famous character is also a redhead?
Gosh, you know what sounds like it's something that she would say? Face it, Tiger? Funny thing.
Yes,
I feel like if Holland Roden does get the part, we need for this, for all the ridiculous amount of stumping we've done for this.
You know what? Someone on the Teen Wolf set, get Holland Roden to say, "Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot." Record that and send it to Sony.
That would probably do it.
It would just... Actually, I'm kind of surprised that's not come up in the show yet. Of Styles just being like, please say the thing. Please say the thing. No, Styles, I don't want to say the thing. Please say it.
I don't know if Styles would have her want to say that.
I don't know though.
I don't know. I feel like he would. Oh, well, I appreciated something that I learned from the Teen Wolf stuff at Comic-Con. It's not actually a spoiler. It actually happened years ago, but I didn't know that when Teen Wolf first started filming, and I don't know if it's still true, but Tyler Hoechlin, Tyler Posey, and Dylan O'Brien all live together. I did know that, and that is hilarious.
They're probably all getting paid well enough to get their own places.
Yeah, but it was just really funny. Like, they all live together, and apparently because Tyler Hoechlin is 4 years older than the other guys, he treated them like his little brothers and would tackle them and spank them. And so fanfiction, I'm pretty sure, just went insane.
Yeah, oh, God.
Because you know who we know this from? You know who said this in an interview? Tyler Posey.
Oh, Tyler Posey.
Good source.
But that actually explains so much. It explains why there's such a great chemistry between Tyler and Dylan.
It does, actually. That does explain. It explains a lot.
And it explains why Derek is so abusive of them. It's like, because that's how they lived.
It explains a lot, because that was one of the reasons why the steric pairing was so incredibly popular, was because there wasn't a logical explanation for why they had such ridiculously good chemistry. Like, there was no explanation for why it always seemed like they were so stinking close. And as soon as you figure out, like, oh, it's because they're actually, like, they live together. Well, that makes sense. So yeah, so that was an interesting thing that I just learned that I felt like I would share because, yeah. Yep.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I'm glad to know this.
Well,
I know.
it's always interesting when you learn these things that explains why these actors. Because, I mean, Supernatural. Apparently, like, Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki are both from the same town in Texas.
Mm-mm. Not the same town.
They're not?
Sorry, Supernatural, I know my crap. They're both from Texas. They're from about 3 hours away from each other, and they root for rival basketball teams.
Oh. Well, then, actually, that explains things
may
even
not
better.
know the towns that they're from, but no, when they got their parts, they hadn't met before, but they had people in common because they both did CW shows.
Yeah.
And they did live together. They lived together for like 4 years. But they're both from Texas. They had friends in common. They lived together for like 4 years. They lived together until they got married. Like,
Not to each other. Just so we're not starting even more fan fiction out there. Not to each other.
Oh, that fan fiction already exists, tragically.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, like, trust me, the ship has sailed. Everyone, when they were living together, was like, and they both got married to their girlfriends, and everyone was like, now they both have adorable children. Anyway, sorry, I don't really ship actors in real life. I just get really excited when they seem happy.
Yes.
So.
There was one rare occasion where I did kind of ship actors in real life, but they just gave so much shipping material in like every interview, so nothing came of it. Shane West and Maggie Q when they were doing Nikita.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway. There was a tweet. Somebody tweeted Maggie Q. Said, like, I heard that you and Shane West were in a relationship for real. And then she replied and said, no, we're not. He replied with just a smiley face. And I was like, I feel like...
No, they're not.
But I don't like to ship actors in real life because I feel like it's kind of disrespectful. So
Weird.
I try not.
Okay, other news from Comic-Con. Can we think of anything else? Problem is, like, I don't feel like a lot of news actually comes out of Comic-Con except from Marvel and DC. Pretty much everything sort of like,
well,
look at
Korra's going digital, which they should have done from the beginning. But
what?
Korra's going digital. They're not airing it on Nick anymore. They just stopped mid-season. But they probably should have done that from the get-go since most of its fan base is watching it online anyway.
Well, they already, like, the first 5 episodes were leaked in Portuguese.
Yeah, which kind of
which is why they launched the episodes so early to begin with.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Well, you can still watch them online. They're still going to air all the episodes just online.
Yeah. I mean, it was unfortunate that it was leaked and they had to change their plan.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I'm really digging this season of Korra.
Me too. When Mako sort of just kind of... When Bolin called him a brooding teenager, I was like, yes, good, they realized. And then when they were all like, why don't you come live at the air temple with us? And he's like, oh, no. I'm like, good life choice, Mako. You realize that living with your 2 ex-girlfriends that you cheated on / with twice is a bad idea. Good, you realize this. And other reasons. There are other reasons I like many other reasons.
We will do a large talk of Legend of Korra once this season finishes.
Okay.
When they release all the episodes.
Yes. So, in like
Let's see. Oh, there's a new Lego Batman game coming out.
I mean,
I love the Lego Batman
I want to
game.
talk about the
about the what?
Musketeers.
Ah,
NBC's Musketeers. It's so cute.
I haven't watched yet. DVR'd them, haven't watched them.
Please watch them. They're
I
very
will.
good.
I'm never gonna catch up on all the TV shows.
No, you're not.
I'm feeling that right now.
I mean, I have to stop every once in a while and just be like, what's the likelihood that I will ever actually watch every episode of The West Wing? Pretty much zero.
I've watched every episode of The West Wing multiple times.
Right. I haven't, and I'm not motivated enough to catch up. Like, I mean, I believe it's a good show. I just, there's so much other stuff that I'm watching
Yeah,
that I have more of a notable reward for watching.
that's true. Like, I'm actually almost depressed to go home to my DVR because there are so many shows I've fallen behind on just because I've gone home. I'm home and I have my niece, I have my dogs. I don't want to watch TV all the time. I have my parents. I go out to nice dinner. Whoops, I missed the show. It's like I'm gonna come home to my DVR being practically full. It's like, oh, do I really want to watch all these episodes of *Halt and Catch Fire*? Which I do, because that's an awesome show, but
I have trouble making time for anything that doesn't involve werewolves, time travel, or other various silly things. I have a lot of trouble making time for not genre shows.
even genre shows, I really wanted to watch this.
What?
Genre shows. I feel
Genre
like
shows?
I didn't. I
Even
missed.
genre shows, I have to force myself to really watch them.
Depends on the show.
Well, yeah, there's some shows I need no incentive to watch. Like Game of Thrones, I watch that. When Doctor Who comes back, I will watch every episode when it comes on.
Orphan Black, Teen Wolf, Game of Thrones. Don't need any motivation to watch them. Okay, I think we've pretty much exhausted this. I feel like
I think we've covered Comic-Con. I mean,
Slowing down.
a lot of awesome things were there. It's all online. I'm sure other people who were actually there can talk about it. And
Things happened. We're all way too antisocial to go.
yes. One day, Crossover Appeal will go to Comic-Con.
No, we won't.
One of us will.
One day, Crossover Appeal will go to Geek Girl Con.
I hope that someday I will be like a presenter at Comic-Con with some awesome story that I was a part of. So yes,
I
someday.
will one day
one
be
of us
like
will go to-
several of our teachers who went to Comic-Con.
I guess I figure if I go to Comic-Con, it's going to be either interviewing people or as a panelist.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see myself going as a panelist.
Yes. I will go when I have a reason to go.
Yes.
So that has been Crossover Appeal, episode 88. 12 more until we release our big 100 episode.
It's so amazing.
Yes. It's so amazing, and we took it a month ago.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so
We didn't need to-
I probably won't be here next week.
Oh, well then you will miss out on the Guardians of the Galaxy talk.
Hopefully I will be moving. So
You will still miss out on Guardians of the Galaxy.
that's okay. I'm still going to see it.
All right, next week.